Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and today I got a little different video for you. Most of the time you'll find me wearing Converse or Vans. Now, as you can imagine, they don't offer a lot of protection. In fact, I was wearing this very pair of Vans when I dropped a full sheet of 3/4 inch plywood on my toe, causing me a bunch of health problems. It chipped a bone spur in my big toe joint. It caused a cyst to grow in one of my other toe joints, and I had to have that surgically removed. And basically, because I was wearing very poorly protected shoes, I caused myself a bunch of health problems. More recently, I was wearing this pair of Vans in my garage working, and I dropped this 2.5 pound bucking bar, and it fell like that, point down, narrowly missing, hitting my foot or my toes. It was a wake-up moment for me. And in the past, I've also dropped this heavier plate that I used to work on. I use as an anvil and a working table for shaping steel. I've also dropped this thing before, very narrowly missing my feet. So when I dropped this, thought about that plate, I thought, you know what? It's time for me to get some safer shoes to wear in the garage while I'm working. However, I also didn't want to just buy a pair of heavy-duty work boots with steel toes just for protection and have big, heavy, clunky shoes wearing either. One, I didn't want the big, heavy, clunky part, and two, I still like having the style of Converse and Vans. So I got online, started looking, and I came across Avenger work boots on available on sureworks.com or Amazon, and they had a style that was more to my liking. And that's these Avenger work boots blades. These are the low cut version. They also have a high top version, which I'd kind of like to try, but they're more expensive. So I thought I'd give the low cuts the first try. They have these available in the black and white like this, more like a classic Chuck Taylor look. They also have a black on black version, black laces, the whole thing, in case the Chuck Taylor style isn't your style, but it is mine, so that's what drew me to these. Looking at them, they've got some kind of hybrid canvas nylon outer shell here, a nice oil and slip resistant rubber sole. They're not just one-sided canvas like a Converse. They are actually lined on the inside, and they have a nicer footbed that with more thickness padding and insole to it than a Converse. They also have an aluminum cap in the toe for protection. So if you start looking at the details of these shoes, like I said, Avenger work boots, blade model, at sureworks.com, then that's SUREWERX. Like I said, the AT stands for aluminum toe for protection, so it's also lighter than a traditional steel toe shoe. Electrical hazard, there's no exposed metal on these shoes. As far as I can tell, the only real metal is in the aluminum toe, which is completely covered inside and out. The eyelets themselves are plastic or nylon or something, meaning they're safe to wear around electrical hazards, which is good because I do a lot of welding, and you know, I've always worried about electrocuting myself doing that, although I'm pretty sure it's not necessary. No metal and slip resistant. The one thing I don't know about is I worry about, because I've had happen in my Converse and Vans, is when I am welding, hot metal slag will land on the shoe and burn in. I've actually had it burn through my shoe and get in. So I don't know how fire resistant this is going to be, but we're going to find out. Style wise, when I first looked at these online, the pictures kind of seemed kind of goofy. They looked almost what I would call Mickey Mouse shoe-ish, you know, they look bigger and more bulbous. But in real life and in person, they really aren't. They're a little thicker than your traditional Converse, which is necessary for the toe box. They have a safety heel in it. It's a lot harder and more resistant in the heel here. That's not metal though. I think that's some kind of composite in there. Overall, it seems to be a nicely made shoe, and the style to me is very reminiscent of Converse, and it's not as clownish as I thought it was going to be. So let's put these on and try them out. Okay, initial impressions. They do have a better footbed in them than traditional Converse and Vans. Slightly more arch, definitely a little more padding. The soles feel a little thicker, which is nice when you're talking about protection in a garage floor type of thing. Look, I love them. I think they look really good. Now, fit. Online, a lot of the reviews say to order one size smaller than you normally would wear. Now, I ordered 11 mediums. My toe is about right there, so I probably could have went down to 10.5, but I also don't feel it's too big, and my toes definitely are not tight in the toe box protected by the metal cap, and they are still protected way back to the first joints back at my foot bones. So I think the 11s are fine for me. 10.5 might be slightly better for comparison purposes. In Chuck Taylor Converse, I do wear a 10.5, and in Vans, I wear 11s. So I didn't know which way to go. I'm okay with the 11s. And based on my initial impressions, at some point, I probably will want to buy a high top version of these. So maybe I'll get that in 10.5 to try first. But overall, weight, comfort-wise, so far, I'm really digging it. Now, realistically, I know the only way to really evaluate a pair of shoes is to wear them over some time. So far, I'm not going to be returning these. I like them. I'm going to give them a fair chance. So over the next several months, I will be putting more use on them. In the meantime, I do have a few little projects I need to start working on, so I'm going to do that now. And I'll let you know if I come across anything that feels wonky about them with just some basic work. I know that wasn't a comprehensive test of these shoes. I can tell you in the 15-20 minutes I've been working in them so far, they're very comfortable. I do feel like my toes are protected. I'm not going to get into destructive testing because I paid for these shoes. However, Avenger work boots, if you do want to send me some free shoes and want me to do destructive testing on them, I can and will. Happy to. Send me a pair of these same blades in the high tops. I'd love to try them out. But I can tell you, I won't be returning these. I like them. It's a warm day. My feet are a little warm, but I think they would be warm in anything right now. I do feel these are more breathable than a pair of leather boots though. When I get into welding with them, see what happens there. So I'm not going to try to burn them on purpose, but you know, if I do notice they're burning, I'll catch you up on that. Okay, so I've worn these shoes a lot more since I originally filmed this video, and including welding in them, and I wanted to give you a little update here before I close the video out. But you can see where there's burn marks in here where some slag splattered down in my shoe. A couple of bigger ones on this side. So nothing burned through out here on the, you know, the exterior of the shoe. This is just stuff that got inside in between my foot and the shoe, and basically tried to melt my shoe. It did melt some of the inside of the shoe and, you know, my socks. Also, there was some splatter that got between the tongue and the outer area here, and that tended to melt the two together. So when I first pulled the tongue, you could hear it popping those little melt spots together. And lastly, yeah, that piece of welding splatter landed on that lace there and basically melted the whole thing into, it's hanging on by a thread literally. And I mean, the shoes didn't fail. I mean, it's probably really not what they're designed for, but they didn't do bad either. You know, just like where you flex your foot and then there's a gap in here, that was allowing splatter to get down in there. So, you know, a pair of high tops may be better for that, or, you know, real boots. So I just wanted to kind of let you know about that. Otherwise, I still really like the shoes and they're holding up well. Okay, back to the outro. But if I do notice anything like that happening, or like they start to fall apart, or, you know, slag burns through them, watch my videos, subscribe and watch my videos on I'm building a hot rod. I'm doing some skateboarding, although I'm not planning on skateboarding in these, but I think I could. Little sole's a little thick for that, but I think I still could. But in general, yeah, I'm really happy with them. I like them, and the security, or not the, and the peace of mind I feel it's going to offer me in the garage, just because I'm in a small confined space. Stuff is always falling, and it's always falling around my feet. So I really like the idea of having safety protection on my feet. So anyway, the short-term review is I'm really happy with them. I like them a lot. They feel well constructed. They fit well. Like I said, maybe a half size smaller than you would normally go. Maybe 10.5. If you wear a 10.5 in Converse, that might be the way to go. I might, if I do go and order the high top version, I might order that in 10.5 just to see how it fits, and then return it if I don't feel it fits well enough. But yeah, other than that, yeah, they seem very nice, and I'm happy with the purchase. So like I said, subscribe, watch some more of my videos. You'll see these in there. Anytime I'm working in the garage from now on, I'll be wearing these. And until then, YouTube, later.